Welcome to Vikings and Valkyries, an actual play podcast for When the Wolf Comes, a role-playing game set in a parallel timeline where the Norse ruled the seas and stars with restless fleets. My name is Ian Stewart Sharp, and I will be your games master for the campaign ahead, the Thought and Memory Saga. Joining me to face their fate are an intrepid band of kith and kin, Ed, Jay, Steve and Bill. Mark their names well, as they may be the last ones you are able to pronounce. Welcome, not so gentlemen, to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Now, I'm correct in that you've all rolled dice before together. Tell us a little bit about your pedigree. Perhaps we'll start with you, Bill. You're the old, wise and member of the group.
Yeah, well, all of those are true, I believe. Long-time role-playing game enthusiast since my teens, which is decades ago. Early versions of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Traveler, and everything in between. Regularly beat everyone on this call in various board games. Just a huge winning thing. And I just love getting my RPG on and getting my board game on. I think that's a reasonable summary.
Very good. Well, who else would like to contest Bill's clearly fabricated version of events?
Oh, I'll go next. Unless we want to fight for it. No, my name's Steve. I've gamed for nearly as long as Bill, because frankly, that's impossible. I've regularly beat him at board games despite his lies. Been playing every edition of Dungeons and Dragons so far, very poorly at all of them, and looking forward to doing very poorly at another one.
Very good. And Ed?
I'm Ed. I am pretty new to the D&D scene. I started about 6 years ago with early edition of D&D, and caught up and started doing the new edition. And my expertise comes. I did improv for a long time. Did that through high school and some of my early adult life. So I'm hoping to bring that angle to the whole situation here.
Very good. And then last but not least, Jay, and some form of direct lineage from the elder Hopkins.
Yes, I was born from his seed. It's
Nice.
a bit embarrassing, but you know what? It's the truth. So ever since I was born, I was ripping board games. I was winning quick. Never looked back. But I'm into the D&D scene now because my plans of being an actor didn't work yet. A famous actor. So I'm
this
here.
This could be the launch pad for something amazing.
Well, this is it. I think, yeah. It's like I get my acting practice. I just lie to people, and then I just do this.
The problem is that the
perfect.
Vikings TV series is pretty much finished and gone on hiatus, I'm afraid. So, that's
Okay.
out.
Well,
But,
we're going to pick up where they left off.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, with that in mind, without further ado, let's launch what we're calling the V&V podcast, hoping that the lawyers at Wizards of the Coast appreciate my enunciation. We are playing a game called When the Wolf Comes, as I said. Now, I've had a little bit of a hand in this myself. It's set in the Viking verse, which is something that I have fashioned myself around some novels, comics, and now the RPG. And the setting for this campaign, the Thought and Memory campaign, is the far-flung remote outposts of Empire, the land of Heimslit, which means the world's edge in Old Norse. And we will, throughout this podcast, confuse everyone now and then by sprinkling in some Old Norse just to make it a little bit more authentic and to force people to spit all over their screens and into their microphone. But your characters are all assembled in the town of Hjálpmakaar. Hjálpmakaar means literally in Old Norse, it means help each other. And it's both the name of a town and the kind of general advice to people who live in the middle of nowhere. Now, before I dive in and give you a deeper description of the town, perhaps we can introduce each of the characters and why they find themselves in the frozen north. And perhaps we just follow the same order in which we went through the personal introductions and start with Bill. Who are you playing today?
I am playing Hjálmi. I am an Alfar, which is a spirit encased in a tree's body, an offshoot of the great world tree. My friends describe me as aloof, honest, and dependable, as they should. I grew up worshipped by Wains in the sacred grove, and of course they worship me. Woods, I feel, are at the core of everything. I detest a tyrant. I love peace on the world.
Very nice. Now, the world of the Viking verse and Norse mythology in general, the Alfar are attested to as kind of these spirits of light that are often seen dancing on the wind. But you have been given bodily form as a kind of avenging angel, so to speak, caused by the cataclysmic death of Yggdrasil in huge stellar explosion, and your people have been birthed in this tree-like form. How is that going for you? You're an old spirit sucked into this new body.
Well, there are debts to be settled. I live to serve. I listen to the other Alfar. They are the wisest of all beings, of course. But there is much work to be done. There is a lot to correct. There is a lot of wrongs to right. So many things have been afflicted upon the natural world that must be corrected.
And can you remember anything of your former life, because you were this ancestral spirit who's been forced to come back to the world to attend to the wounds of the world's tree?
I served faithfully Sigurd Hring, and I fell in the 8th century over 1,000 years ago.
Which is about the same time that you first started playing D&D.
A fortunate coincidence. Thank you so much for bringing it up.
You're welcome. Now, Steve, you're your own form of cage spirit, but instead of the light elves, the Los Alpha, you're playing a dark elf, or at least the Norse version of that.
Yeah, once upon a time, long ago, I fought the armies of the Tartars and died, well, up until I took an arrow to the knee and then a sword to the head. And at Kalka, and I want to say again, Mstislav is still an idiot. He ran the battle rump, and it doesn't matter though. Off to the afterlife I went. I don't remember a lot of it. I remember it was a good time until I was yanked out of the afterlife and crammed into this artificial construct, this prison, against my will. Although, credit where it's due, it is a magnificent prison. It is in the shape of a perfect male specimen, made out of perfect, flawless black stone, etched with gold and silver. As prisons go, it'll do for now, at least until I'm able to escape this prison and return to the afterlife, which I'm told is impossible, but I don't believe that. I hear this buzzing. Anyways, that's my story. That's all they're getting for now.
Very good. Now, the buzzing, is that something on your microphone, or is that just the kind of rattling of ancestral spirits driving you insane?
It's the rattling of a particularly irritating ancestral spirit.
He's
many centuries older than me.
He's referring to
many centuries
what an
older.
abomination in the natural order he actually is.
Good. Well, I'm glad we've got the right side and the left side of the elven races represented.
I'm the right side.
You're a tree.
And Ed, how do you join this merry throng?
I am the Draugr Lesgo, and I am an old model, simply a year old, reborn by some enthusiasts who just wanted to make the best recreational model they possibly could.
In this universe, the Dverga are the dwarves of this world. The original Norse word Dverga. They were never particularly short. They were these kind of demons of death, born of the land and the soil. They were spirits of rock. But that's not to say they weren't sly and furtive and slightly rambunctious. And you presumably have all of those qualities to boot.
Mm-hmm. My creators I ran away from. I was able to find my way away from the wilderness after barely purchasing my freedom. And I was able to do that. My body is very particular. I have a very small, low, rigid platform, deep raised size, and I'm on tracks. I'm on tracks like a tank. And basically where my mouth is, I basically look like a car from Cars.
Are you still under warranty, Ed? I mean, as you know, the Dverga have limited lifespans and often returned to the stores in which they were bought because they are well known for being temperamental, irascible, and faulty.
Uh-huh.
Well, I definitely of the mindset that I need to maybe find someone to maybe extend that warranty. We'll see. You know, I'm enjoying life. I want to enjoy life, and I want to enjoy life as long as possible.
Very good. Now, when I came up with the idea for the Dverg and drew them from the pages of myth, it was very much with Roy Batty from Blade Runner in mind. So, you know, your limited battery life, it's reducing all of the time. So keep an eye on that. And in the meantime, let's talk to Jay and hear all about his horse gelding.
Yeah, so I'm Holeaf. I'm reasonably tall. I'm like 6'5", medium height. Actually, now I'm 5'10", 5'9". I'll be honest, 5'9".
6'5" in heels.
Yeah, 6'5" when I got my hair on right, and I have glasses, and I'm a funky looking guy. I'm a hardy looking guy. Like I could climb something.
And you're the only human.
Yeah, I'm a human, which is great. I'm the only normal. I was, in the military. It was not pretty, and now I had no choice. I'm a criminal. So it is what it is. It's one of those things.
And how did you get the nickname of being a horse gilder?
So it was my 18th birthday. My mom rode into town with a bunch of horse, and she said, "We're gonna eat this one tonight." And I said,
I'm not sure I should have asked.
and I said, I ain't gonna eat it, but I will try pieces, portions, bite-sized, pre-bite-sized. And so, and that's where we discovered that if you chop the testicles off of the horse, they still perform well, but you can get a little tasty kind of chicken nugget.
Very good. Now there was actually in ancient Norse times in the Viking era something called the cult of the Volsi, which was actually the cult of the horse penis. They were using all kinds of phallic rituals, and there was lots of sex magic is a big Viking thing. So I'm glad you've embraced that in the aftermath of your war-torn psychosis.
Thank you.
All right, now we will take this rather odd bunch, and we will transport you all, like I said, to Heimslit, the end of the world, the northernmost inhabited remnant of empire in this frozen town. The four of you, for some reason, you are here in Hjálpmakaar, and you find yourself standing outside the sick house, which is the town's hospital. Perhaps you're trying to shelter from the intense cold. Perhaps you've been chased there by a band of yipping huskies that drive the sleds across the snow. Perhaps you've just wandered there because it was the brightest neon sign that was flickering in the perpetual sun. But you find yourself, all four of you, in front of the sick house when a wheeled dverg, bristling with medical diagnostics and displays, calls out to you. Hello, meatbags. Hail Oxile. I have a job for you. Would you care to enter and hear more? I will not take no for an answer, for fate has brought you to my door.
Ah, fate. Good.
Brother! Hail Exile!
Who's this guy?
This guy is a dverg. He looks like a diagnostic bot, a kind of medical doctor. He's rolling around on some rather impressive tires that are kind of all-weather terrain. They enable him to cope with the snow and ice.
So, you got a warm spot in there somewhere?
Indeed I do, meatbag. Please do come in and rest your joints.
Fine, Clockwork.
I can lubricate and probe and see what ails you.
Do me.
This guy gets it.
Would you mind?
By all means, meatbag. Say, ah.
I roll up to get a closer look.
The dverg has got all kinds of instruments. He's kind of bristling with them. Things pop out and emerge, and you find yourself with antenna-like things popping from his fingers, and he also connects across to you, Ed. The legs go. He also says to you, please say ah.
Ah.
How curious. You have a rune on your tongue. Or should I say, tasting implement.
Can you read it to me?
I can do better than that. I can take a photograph and reveal it to you here. And he snaps something and then he hands it up. There is a rune. It is the rune for Os, the god rune, emblazoned on your tongue. While he's doing that, he's holding the other tongue and kind of got it between two pincers. He's got Halif's tongue. So Halif, you're unable to talk effectively for the next couple of minutes while this pincer has literally got your tongue.
Oh.
Attention, Clockwork. Do you know the Winter Wise? I seek to speak with them. They must hear me. I seek to speak with them. Do you know them?
I am aware of the Winter Wise, of course.
Take me there.
I do not believe that is appropriate. I have asked for your assistance in my own dilemma. I have an escaped meatbag who is on death's door, and as you know, the death law will not permit any meatbag to expire within the town's environs. I will happily pay 1 crown and write a letter of recommendation to the Winter Wise. Were you able to assist in taking the meatbag to the Atterstoop and hurling him to his demise?
I will do this thing. I do not speak for these others, but this is an insufficient offer, but I will accept it anyway.
And the rest of you meatbags? Are you happy to facilitate my request?
We find a meat bag and throw them to their death?
That is correct. The town's death law requires that no one die within the town's environs in order that we do not attract the Isbjorn. The sacred Isbjorn must not eat the people within the town, lest they are encouraged to do so and mayhem ensues.
Let's get this guy.
I would see an Isbjorn. I've heard they are marvelous creatures. What says the mayfly? The short, ruddy one with the red cheeks and who's a criminal
with his tongue in a vine.
Yes. What is? Yeah. Oh,
I'd like to hear what he says. Perhaps it's more like.
Does somebody cut this thing off with my tongue?
I believe he said yes.
My apologies. I will release your tasting appendage.
Can you get the other one out too?
Oh, my apologies. I will remove my anal probes.
No wonder you said he had red cheeks.
I'm feeling rather relaxed right now. Are you telling me that we gotta get a bag of meat? Is that what you're telling me? We're getting a bag of meat?
The patient, Bjarne Bjarnason, has indicated a 93% chance of expiry within the next 48 hours. He must be escorted to the Atterstoop, where he may perform the ritual cleansing and jump to his demise.
All right, so y'all want to do it?
Does he have to jump? Can we push?
You may speed his egress in whichever way you see appropriate.
It might be funny. I'm in.
Yeah.
Which direction? Which direction, clockwork thing?
Well, down, right? If he has to fall.
I presume.
Which direction do we walk in? I see I am the only one who will be approaching the Winterwise to offer them advice.
My suggestion is this, that you find Bjarne Bjarnason in his cabin, engage him, avail him of the opportunity to abide by the death law. May I also suggest that you purchase something from my Happy Death Day range? I have cards, balloons, and of course, streamers. They may well be useful in facilitating the ready acceptance of the meatbag's demise.
I'll buy the cards.
And you have Imperial crowns?
I didn't get a balloon when I died.
Can we put a tab on this stuff?
Indeed you may. Please take your pick of the selection of merchandise, and I will deduct it from your eventual fee. I will also provide you with a rifle and ammunition, lest you run afoul of the Isbjorn. Of course, it is forbidden to take a life of the Isbjorn or endanger or harm it in any way, but you may well wish to fire a warning shot.
Can I grab that? Because I was in the war.
Yes, good suggestion. How expensive is the card or cards?
It is a fluctuating price depending on how well you perform your mission and eliminate any unnecessary disturbance.
I see. So we'll fine. Then the clockwork toy, the other clockwork toy, can put it on his tab. That's a good idea. The creature of a quarter day, I would say. Everything dies so quickly.
I take the cards and I put them into my fourth slot.
Should we all sign the card? What's the custom? I don't...
Whose birthday is it?
Well, it's kind of the opposite, but I mean, it still feels like we should... You know, what do you write? Like, good luck on your trip? Or,
I
these
mean,
Look before you leap, perhaps?
we could maybe we like tell him, we get him to the point where he's like about to jump, then we make him read it, and it's like turn around, and then we push him.
Is this
Most
card?
ingenious. The Dverg, just in case anyone was interested in social niceties or your basic common decency, is known as Val Toki. He hasn't bothered to ask your name, however, and he appears to have very little insight into whether you are organic, non-organic, male, female, or what have you. The Dverg is simply interested in you stopping him dealing with the embarrassment of a dead patient on his grounds.
Can I level with him, Dverg to Dverg?
You can certainly try. Funnily enough, you may well both share the level of religion, which is the Dverg religion that I believe you adhere to.
Mm-hmm. That is true. So I go up close and I say, hey, listen, buddy. Like, what are we really dealing with here? Are you sending these fuckers on a crazy mission, or are we good? Like, am I good to go with them?
Does this sound like two modems talking back and forth?
Yeah, I think so.
If they are both speaking double Dverg, which is
Mhm.
the language of dwarves, which is so called because partly it's binary and partly because it sounds like complete nonsense to anyone else who's trying to listen in, then he does, yes, whine and whistle back at you, but this is what it would translate to in English. He says, there is no cause for concern. This is a routine exercise to make sure that a distinguished citizen rests in an appropriate and lawful manner.
All right.
Listen, I got. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I plant a kiss on his Dverg cheek, as is traditional for the Dvergs, and I go back to the crew.
If it is traditional, he is taken aback and he rocks back on his wheels and says to you, that is not an appropriate bedside manner.
I'm a different kind of doctor.
Perhaps your circuitry is crossed. I suggest you run an internal diagnostic.
I got more than enough going on in the internal, I'll tell you that.
No. Listen, I got 4 pennies. You take me around back. You run an internal diagnostic just before I head out. 4 pennies. 4 pennies. I don't got nothing more. Unless it's more than that, and we can just leave.
Which of the clockwork toys are you speaking to, Mayfly?
Oh, I'm speaking of Val, Sweet Honey Val.
Sweet Honey Val. Well, he's agreed to deduct your fee, so you don't have to pay him in advance unless you want to take medical services now. I don't think you've taken any damage just yet. That anal probe might have been hot and warm, but it's probably quite healing.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm feeling good already. You don't think I need it?
I think that you're full of endorphins.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, you've already been probed right up the fjord.
Oh my!
You would save in that one.
Now, you're in this scenario now where the 4 of you have been flung together in what's effectively a hospital waiting room. The rest of the sick house is empty. There's bare beds. 6 bare beds. There's not really much to be seen. There are no other patients. Perhaps no other patients would be insane enough to get the help of Valtoki. But you now get to look at each other the first time and get the measure of the various men or elves or Dverg. So you can decide whether you are going to get along or whether you're just going to amble along. But it is definitely an interesting band, whereas most Viking troops would, for example, Jay, from your warrior days, you would have been, full of a band of brothers. You now really do feel that you are surrounded by these misfits.
Bunch of weirdos. Yeah, that's my life, surrounded by weirdos. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right? No offense.
Do you more sensitive creatures need supplies, sustenance, that sort of thing before we depart?
What do you call them sensitive?
I don't need sustenance per se.
Do you need winding?
Winding and dining.
Winding?
Well, I can't help with that. Perhaps the what did he call it? A meat bag.
I think Bill's referring to the fact that there's a clockwork mechanism in these old contraptions. There's actually no sign of a key or clockwork, although Steve, I'm sure your character Ira has a rather fetching headdress.
Yes, I've appearance-wise, I've decided that his appearance is, it's like he's not clothes as such. It's just that this magnificent sculpture that he is has been fashioned so that it looks like almost an unnecessarily ornate version of 14th century armor, complete with helm. Except it's part of him. It has no protective value whatsoever. But I mean, appearances. It's something it's familiar. It's comforting. Yeah.
So you're a big tin can.
More stone than tin, but
All right.
I shall ask my question again, and I will use smaller words this time. Do you need food and drink before we go out into the world?
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, that is a very good idea. I have bread.
No. Do you need to be watered?
You might need to be watered, actually. You might have a point.
I'm kindly meant. I'm certain abomination, but I am fine for the moment. Thank you so very much.
So wait, am I the only one that's got to eat?
Yeah, it might be.
Oh, man.
You used to like eating.
Yeah.
I think Lomi probably does quite well with photosynthesis. So there's a good segue in to remind you that outside, because it's the polar summer, the midnight sun dominates the sky. So it's always light throughout. But all of this adventure, you will not be able to hide in shadows or skulk in darkness because the sun is always toiling above you. Now, the town itself is a kind of rough industrial town. There's a vibrant community there, but it's also very much melded with the wild. So reindeer mope in between the abandoned mining gear that doubles as surreal monuments on the street corners, and the air is alive with the excited yips of huskies that call the town home. And then on the fjord, just on the outskirts of town, you can see it clearly from your vantage point. You can see whales swimming, and that's it's not an unusual occurrence to see a walrus lazing on the shore. And beyond just the sick house, there's the bank, there's a newspaper, a hotel, the law house, restaurants, several bars, and obviously the town has the research institute, the Firefox Institute, named for the Northern Lights and the myth surrounding those, and that's where the Winter Wise and their students have holed up in this remote outpost to study the effects of that harsh winter and hopefully reverse it before the world ends, the rumors of Ragnarok become true. So all around you as well, there are houses made of stone, bright painted aluminium. Some of them are raised on stilts to avoid the permafrost melting underneath, and the shifting nature of the ground that comes with the kind of freezing and unfreezing and under the summer sun. One of those houses is presumably the home of Bjarnason, the meat bag who you have been asked to escort to the Atastup. And does anyone know the nature of the Death Lord? Do you want me to explain that to you, or have you got a good handle on it and the reason for picking people to the Atastup, or as it's known, the Troll's Tongue?
That's they're pushing them off the Troll's Tongue. Right? That's right. They're pushing them down.
But the reason for it is because they don't want people to die in town, because this area is surrounded by the Isbjorn. The Isbjorn, the ice bears, the polar bears are sacred animals. They don't want to cause the animals to be lured into town by dead bodies, by carrion. If they're eating people, then they're going to be forced to be shot at, and no one wants to injure these bears. And they're not just polar bears in this kind of Norse world. They are really sacred animals. They're blessed with powerful spirits, and observing, protecting, and even gifting the bears is one of the reasons why Hjálpmakaar exists. The Isbjorn are the kings and queens of beasts. They're the rulers of the wild. and they're known amongst the population as things like Odin's dogs, the ever-wandering ones. They're wise and powerful beasts, and there is, it's a kind of sanctity about them that you would be wise to heed.
Better than people.
I have a question for the clockwork that pokes things. How long a journey to the meat bags? The hunting, fishing hut? I forget what you said.
The Dverg has somewhat retreated back to its daily duties, having been kind of offended, and it just chimes back at you. This conversation can serve no further purpose. Thank you for your custom.
I turn to Ear. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Abomination.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you go ask that thing again? I didn't get a sufficient answer. Go ask it again, please.
No.
All right, unnecessary companions. I think we should head out.
Let's
I
go.
mean, you don't have to. I'll
Wait
go
a second.
do it.
Wait a second. I only got bread. I only got 4 pennies and bread, so anyone got any money? We get some food for me? Might get a little hungry.
I think we spent everything on the card.
You spent everything on the card.
You pre-spent on the card, I believe. You're already sinking yourself into debt, but with such a short life, why not?
So, Air or
Yes.
or Lomi, you guys got a little bit of chunk of change on you?
Let's swing by the market and we can find something to keep you alive a little longer.
Cheers.
Could always cut a piece off that ornate skin the thing is wearing.
You can eat.
There's a range of places where you might get victuals from the Cooking Kettle, which is the name of the local hostelry, or you could go to Gunner's Gun Store for a variety of outdoor equipment, or perhaps, Bernard Björnsson himself may have equipment and sustenance for the road ahead.
Okay.
You know from just your general understanding of the environs that the Hatterstoop is probably a day and a half, 2 days walk. Bear in mind the sun will not set, so you will be camping in the kind of red, golden, amber hues of the almost setting sun, but it never dips below the horizon.
We can
Gorgeous.
stop if we must, but really I won't need any rest.
Can you survive until we get to this gentleman? Because then you can have all his food once we escort him to the bottom of the cliff.
Finding his house is a bit like walking around a neighborhood. If you expire through starvation whilst looking for this guy's house, there's something wrong. You're pretty malnourished.
Yeah.
Is there a city hall or a library?
There is the law speaker's office. The Norse kind of system of justice has a law speaker who presides over the thing being the kind of local assembly and place where laws are made. So you could go there if you wanted to speak to a figure in authority. I do believe you have a map that you may be able to look at and peruse. It depends how quickly you want to get on your way. Remember, this guy did have a 93% chance of dying in the next couple of days.
I just think it's a good idea. I mean, if it's a big enough city, they probably run a census. We could probably get some public records from the law office, see where he lives.
And that is a very good and sensible idea, but it's more town size, probably 2,000 or 3,000 inhabitants, and it's also not the capital where records would be held. That was a place called Kongstein or Kingstone, named for the diamond mines. That's a bit further north, but that place was abandoned hurriedly some decades ago, and most people moved to Hjálpmakaar or just left the region entirely.
Looking at the map, I see there's a post office. We could go ask there if you got mail recently.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
This seems wise. Well done, Clockwork.
Thank you. I go over to Yomi and I give him the traditional kiss.
This will not be necessary. I do not require
No, I
nourishment.
insist.
No, this
I
is
insist.
I do
I
not
insist.
require nourishment. Thank you
entirely
very much.
necessary.
Yeah. So
Are
legs go
you kissing with your rune encrusted tongue?
No, I'll be kissing
Right.
with slot 2, which
Oh,
has
ew.
which has my wetter tongue.
We want to be careful not to slot shame.
Yes.
Bada, boom. All right, so the post office, Norse post office, are in this era of imperial decay, not in much use. The odd freighter or cargo ship does sail with icebreakers through the Dumshof, or the local sea that leads up to this former archipelago. Not many missives are sent anymore after the war, so the post office is all but abandoned and just has an old man sitting in what looks like a kind of rocking chair, and he's half asleep. He's clearly seen many things, perhaps a veteran of the war, because his right arm is entirely missing.
I shall speak to him. I shall use small words and collect the information we require.
Get over it! Oh,
We are looking.
looking.
We excuse silence, please.
Go on, use your small words.
We are looking.
What
We
now?
are
Speak up!
looking.
Speak up!
We are
Oh, my
looking
goodness.
for the meat
What are
bag
you?
that is dying. Where is he?
I've woken up in this fucking bad tree.
This one is broken. Someone else speak to him.
Let's huddle up for a second, guys.
Oh.
Listen, you-
You're very touchy for a
Will
club.
that involve probing?
Not yet. So this guy's
Okay.
fucking crazy. He's out the door soon. What if we take him to the cliff too? Get
Oh,
more. We get
okay.
more money from the first robot.
2 for 1. That's
Two
The
for
efficient.
logic is sound.
Very efficient.
uh,
We could round up all the people who appeared near death
Mm.
and
Okay, look,
drive
as-
them to the sea.
you guys are missing a real lack of humanity, man. Like, let me talk to this guy. This is a guy, right? This is just a fella, human fella.
He is a
Guy-
Yes,
fellow-
one
a
of
fellow-
yours
a fellow
smells
veteran.
very bad.
Guys, come on now.
Not like
This-
a tree at all.
This nice fella right here, he's gonna help us out. Excuse me, sir. Could I look? Don't look at these guys. Don't look at them. All right? They're freaky. Guys, stand over to the side, please. You're freaking them out.
I thought me on my way to Valhalla and had seen the spirits, the very Valkyries, come to take my soul.
I mean,
No.
it's not wrong.
Wow. I mean, well, yeah, that's true. Actually,
Yeah.
people might be taking your soul. It's possible, from what I hear. Is that true, Air? Is it because you're right? That's kind of what happened.
Oh,
You
it's-
kind of,
Oh, yes.
yeah. So
You think the afterlife's going to be the end of it, but no.
there's more. And so what's Lomi, man?
Yes.
What do you
yes.
want to ask him?
We want to know where the meat bag who is dying. Where is he? I believe that was the question we needed. Where is he? The meat bags live, I think, inside.
He's talking about a
caves.
fella. He's
What was
talking
the
about a
name?
fella.
The one we're looking for. The names, I don't know.
There's a Brandon Buford.
No, Brandon Brandonson.
Bjorn Bjornsson?
Bjornsson?
Bjarnason. You could just call him Bernie or Bjarni.
Bernie Bernieson. Yes.
The meat bag, yes.
Brando.
The meat bag.
Bernie
Where is
Alright.
he? Where is he? Where?
Okay,
is
all right.
he?
Calm the
Trapper.
tree down.
He's a trapper. He'll be in one of the old trapper cabins.
Which one? How many are there?
There's not more than half a dozen. Trapper cabins are kind of ramshackle structures built of driftwood, which itinerant trappers and hunters have kind of cobbled together. It's not like one of the more colourful aluminium siding houses. It really is the equivalent of a shack. They're all on the outskirts of town because the trappers are a miserable bunch, keeping themselves.
I am going there now.
Okay. This tree's got an attitude, man. Who's with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's you crunch across some of the gravel streets, kicking away the odd hungry dog that starts to tail you. One of them presumably cocks a leg on our alpha friend here, just to provide that watering.
This is why I do not need sustenance. A gift from the evergreen. Thank you.
You drink.
You may all praise me.
Oh, praise the urine soak.
You find your way to, like I said, these trapper cabins. This one in particular has an open door that looks like it's been propped open. It has a small single window with makeshift bars and shutters, and they're massive logs that are propped up against them so as to stop any wandering bears squeezing between the trunks or managing to squeeze in an inquisitive snout or paw. And you can almost smell the smoke that you can see issuing forth. Every decent trapper cabin has a pot-bellied stove inside, which serves as heater, dryer, and cooker.
I'd like to roll into the door as hard as I can, see if I can break through.
Could knock.
Yeah, look.
I shall speak to the dying in small words so he can understand.
Why don't we knock? Like,
hello, dying.
Oh, yeah. What did he just do? He
just started shouting at the cabin.
He started shouting at the cabin.
Is there? Do I detect any heat signature inside?
You do, using your thermal vision. There's a trait that a bunch of you share. I think poor old Halif is the only one who doesn't have some kind of otherworldly technological sight. Yes, you can see an individual slumped over a item of furniture.
Maybe send our human friend to go knock on the door so as to not startle the.
Exactly. Is that all right with you, legs? Go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dying one, come out. You must die.
Okay, all right, I'm going on it. All right, so I go up. I got my gun. I got it locked and loaded. All right. I'm going to knock on the door. Bam, 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 bam.
Okay. There is a gruff voice that comes out asking who's there, a kind of whiskey growl, and you see stuck through that window that I told you about with the bars, you see a granite-jawed old man wearing furs. His well-thumbed, well-picked nose has still got a finger up it as he sneers out at you and says, "What is it? Can I not be left to my own devices in these last few hours I have left?"
This might be him.
Come with us. It's time to die.
All right. Someone put some tape on this tree's butt.
Nerd.
Man. All right. So we got to convince. So I got to whisper over. I'm going to whisper over to the guys.
I don't
here.
understand the holdup. What's the holdup?
Guys,
our mission is very straightforward. I don't understand. Why do you all talk so much?
We're trying to gain his cooperation to make it easier for everyone. It's best. It's easiest for us if we can convince him to walk off the cliff himself.
Yes.
This all seems very overly
He
complicated.
suddenly looks very wide-eyed as he takes the measure of your whole posse and says, "What is this? Have I died and found the high hall of hell? Loki's child has summoned me too soon. A procession of the dead to see me to my doom.
He's got it down.
He actually knows exactly what's going on. He actually just said exactly.
That is, in fact, who we are.
So come along. Time to die.
And what is this? He says, pointing at Air, the Doc Alpha.
An abomination, don't
If
worry.
he's not a warlock, then he certainly hell's pimp.
Oh,
Hell's pimp.
Wait,
He's got a tongue on him.
my God, that explains the cool hat.
Hell's pimp.
Thank you.
That's kind of cool.
yeah, I don't mind it.
I kind of dig that. I think that's your new nickname.
That's the whole
Hell's
career.
Pimp.
Come with me, dying meatbag. Let's go. Time to finish this up. You have a responsibility. Let's go.
That's true, right? Like, I mean, Mr. Meatbag, sir. I mean, look, I'm a fellow meatbag, and we all got a responsibility not to have the
Pardon me
bear.
and fuck yourself, you sniveling snot rag. I'm not going anywhere with these spawn of hell.
Tell
Who's
him I'll
not-
carry him.
What if you're carried?
Yeah.
Speak to him in small words. It seems
Wait a
to
minute.
help.
Which one of us was the spawn of hell? I don't think any of us are from hell.
You
Ye
are.
black-hearted fiend, I had enough of your kind when I was in Kongstein, when the Merc Riders came from beyond the ground and ripped my brethren apart.
Oh,
I'll not be
Oh.
going anywhere with any of your dangerous kind.
Guess that's where he peaked.
so he's a
Yeah.
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 So he's Are you a fellow vet, sir? Are you done time? Served in any form of capacity?
I earned my place on the stairway to Valhalla.
That's right. And now it's time to go there.
Yeah. So what's your quip? What's your problem? You don't want to die?
You're not afraid of it, are you?
I'll die standing on my feet, not escorted by an abominable stickman, a saucepot, and a devil priest.
I have an unrelated question. Where is the cliff where the people who are dying go?
The Atterstoop, the troll's tongue? Why, day and a half's wade.
Could you show me? I'd be ever, ever so grateful.
You think I'm falling for that trick, you child of a long-dead sow?
You're falling for something.
Falling for Cliff.
I say
No.
we kill him now, put him on the clockwork, and
We can't kill
We
him.
can't kill him now.
That's the whole point.
I'd like to remind you, you do have Happy Death Day merchandise at your disposal.
But I need to sign it.
Okay.
All right.
What are we writing, guys? What are we writing in the card?
Okay, to Bernie. Congratulations on a life well lived, but it's over now. Enjoy the trip. Signed, Air. Okay, hand it off to whoever's next.
I'll take it next, and I drizzle some sap on it in an ancient rune that signifies my presence, my intelligence, and my gift to reality. I pass it on.
It looks like a dick.
I write, hey man, really great job in the war. You lived a great life. Hags. Signed.
Thanks.
Yeah, have a great summer.
And did you get any balloons as well? Or just a card?
I think we just picked up the card.
It was just, but it's a nice card, right? We got one of the nice ones.
Can
Yeah,
I
no.
sign it?
Oh no, yeah, totally
Yeah,
sign it.
please, yeah.
Okay.
You're by the door. You gotta slip it under.
Yeah.
I believe it's embossed.
So
Mm.
I'm just gonna put I had this one pubic hair that was passed down, and so for my father, and so I put it in because it just means a lot.
That's the kind of classic Viking lineage that you're
Yeah.
talking about.
And that's
Yeah.
just proof.
That's,
And so I'm
that's-
gonna
That's honor and justice and
Yes.
all of the things there that you want to teach your children.
respecting your ancestors.
You're giving him pubic hair. You must really respect him.
I do.
Truth, justice, in the Norsean way.
Could I get the
So-
card back for 1 second?
Yeah.
Mm.
I just want to. I kiss it and leave a lipstick stain, and then
Beside the
give it
pew.
back
Okay.
beside the pew.
Okay.
They warned me, the other Alfar warned me that the world would not be as I knew it if I left the grove.
Ain't got
I
no
wish
idea.
I had listened.
You
Me
didn't
too.
expect it to make sense, did you?
And so you're sliding this card under the door.
Yep,
Yeah.
there it goes.
Did we say a few words or something? Maybe there's a song or.
I have a question for Air. You like killing things, right?
I did.
I just think we could speed this whole thing right up.
Why is
Right.
this-
But
Well,
the
he has-
point of the exercise is for him to not die in the town limits.
Well, as long
Remember that part?
yes, but if the body isn't here at the end of it all, who's to know the details in between? That's
Well-
all I'm saying.
But we can't
Okay.
eat, so how do we get rid of the body?
I have things I've got to go do.
Okay.
No, we take it to the cliff and we throw it off, and it's very simple. And everything's checked off, and everybody's happy, and the Proby clockwork is happy, and you're happy, and I'm happy, and I get to go find the Winterwise. I get my letter of recommendation. I don't have to see you people again. It seems just the perfect solution. In
Can I assume from the direction you're headed that you may well be thinking about intimidating this man into going, or are you appealing to reason, his sense of law-abidingness to avoid the death law? What's your approach?
First and foremost, does he like the card?
Yeah.
I'm mostly misunderstanding the situation.
Noted. Does he have to
Yeah.
be conscious when he gets to the cliff?
Or
Because I think there
alive.
may be an angle there.
That's I tell you what, you can make a wits challenge roll if you wish.
Oh my god! And I
that
make
will
the first roll.
and that will give you your indication of whether it was legal or not.
Okay, so that's a die 20 plus my wits modifier. Is that correct?
And you
And
want
what's
to
the
get
target?
above, and you want to get above 10. I'll give you I'll give you a wheel on that, which means you can roll a dice 6 and add it to that because I'm feeling generous that you don't make a misstep so early on in the campaign.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, you're fighting a losing battle there again.
No,
Master.
one of the reasons we call it the thought and memory campaign is that not to give the characters a second thought because they won't be long in your memory.
Editorial aside, I just feel that if we're expected to learn as we go, there could be a significant problem.
Sure.
And
Okay.
back into character.
Yeah. First roll of the campaign adds up to 20.
Very good. Well, you surmise from what you know of the long and storied culture of the Norse Empire, of which you were a part up until about 700 years ago, that it would be intensely dishonorable for you to not treat this gentleman with his valor and his what he's contributed to society means that you really ought to send him off in the best way possible with some ceremony, with some speeches, with some grace.
Right. So we need to convince him.
Did you roll the dice, Steve? Sorry.
I did.
Oh,
I rolled
I
a
didn't see it.
13 I'm sorry. I just rolled it on my tabletop. I forgot we're going to use skill point.
I forgot. Yeah, I've never trusted your kind. Okay. Anyway, carry on.
We need
First
to
roll was a
convince him.
natural 20.
No. Dirty 20.
That no
I
one saw.
expected nothing
one saw.
less abominable.
I lived
However,
through
the card it elicits a furious yell that reverberates around the timber construction, and you hear the man. He bursts out wearing his trapper furs, his granite jaw jutting out, and again just growling at you, and he says, "With this fucking sword, I'll cleave your lying maggot mouths from your swine heads."
I don't think
Are
he's
you ready to go then?
Is he attacking us?
He's not, but I will allow Mr. Hopkins to make an intimidate roll based upon his sneering down the length of his long arboreal nose.
Okay. what am I doing that against? Which
It will be an attack roll, a social attack roll, and I think that you will use your wits.
okay, so I have my wits are 11, so I get a +1.
Can I help in any way to help improve his roll? Because he's going to need it.
I will allow you to lean in menacingly.
I do so.
Does
You
that
are,
go-
after all, spirits representing the other world.
I mean,
Would I be able to have my gun locked and loaded? Could I just aim it at him as well?
Sure.
Got
Okay,
a mean crew.
so I'll roll a 1d20, and we're going to add things to it, I guess. Oh boy,
Oh boy.
I rolled a 6. So with
Okay.
my add, that's a 7.
Okay, now roll 3 dice 6 as wheels and choose the highest of those 3 dice 6 to add to your
Trying
7.
to keep us alive. Okay, so there is a 6 there. So that gets us to 13.
Yeah, you're obviously your band of misfits is suitably intimidating, especially when they are backed up with a rifle. But it's not every day that demons of death do turn up to lead you to your trip to the afterlife. So Bjarni, his shoulders slump down, he drops the card, and with resignation he says, tell this milk-dribbling fucksmear I'm ready to go.
Oh my god.
I roll over and I say, "Sit on me. I will be your chariot to the afterlife."
How noble, how graceful.
Listen, man.
You have offered yourself as a steed to mount.
And? Do I got to roll?
No, I will. He is so dumbfounded by the offer, and bear in mind there are contraptions called skideberg, which skideberg are all around town. They are effectively skidoos. They are AI assisted skidoos, and you broadly look like you could be one of them. You've got tracks as opposed to runners, but he slumps on top of you and almost collapses into a weary coma. He clearly is quite ill, and you can feel that this veteran of many campaigns is rasping and coughing, and there's a kind of light spray of blood that comes out when he sputters onto your seat.
I'd like to propose that as we take him towards the cliff of throwing, that we move with a sense of gravitas and dignity that are appropriate for his final day. Or at least
Agreed. Well
100
done, useless companions.
100%, but I just want to say before we do that, I'm going to have to check out what's in the house and just see if there's anything that, food and just valuables, anything.
Yeah,
It is very Spartan. The man is
Right.
pauper. There are some traps. There's a few extra rounds of ammunition for your rifle that you have, but really the last meal of what's effectively this condemned man was the open tin of beans that was cooking on the stove that I mentioned.
Okay.
Be sure not to take anything that doesn't belong to you. We do not want to offend.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Although, hot meal.
Yeah. This is the thing, right? Like, I don't think anything really belongs to anybody, right? I think that's a construct. So I think I'm just going to take his beans, and I'm going to take a trap.
Well, while we go on ahead, so that he doesn't see you rifling through his former home.
I think he's passed out.
Oh.
He's passed out. He's passed out.
He's slumped over me and drooling
That's what I was
blood onto my face.
We should keep moving.
Let's go.
You beings have so many things to say that are of no consequence.
I got this stuff. Let's get out of here.
So you're headed towards the Atterstoop, the troll's tongue, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
again, just to set the scene, this is tundra in the middle of the polar summer, so the ground is boggy and it makes sucking noises at your boots. You're going to take the coastal path, which is penned by all of these muscular mountains, their charcoal flanks painted with the winter's snow still, and again above you the sun pirouettes across the heavens, producing this 24 hours perpetual daylight, perfect for the walruses that lays around the shore. And you're fairly familiar, since the ad stoop does involve people jumping several hundred feet into the sea, that the coastal path is the right way to go. Now, Bjarned himself, despite his age, illness and general reluctance, he is a skilled outdoorsman, and as you begin to walk, he perks up a little bit, perhaps enjoying the last few glimpses of his homeland.
Is there a, do I remember like some sort of a 14th century version of a speech or some little bit of ritual, something to say or something, I don't know, something to sing or recite or whatever that would be appropriate to see off a former warrior like this as he chucks himself or is chucked?
You might want to reverberate with something like the Harping of Gunnar, an ancient ballad from your era.
Sure. I will. Yeah, as he looks like he's getting ready to take the leap. I will start to recite or whatever the case may be. Hopefully, I remember it.
He chimes up. It's rugged country, eh? Beautiful in its bleakness. One of the things I thought was if the old gods went to live anywhere, this is where they went. But mark my words, if you sing a baleful tune like that, the Isbjorn will be upon you within seconds.
Tell me of the bears. I would know of the bears. Tell me now of the bears.
You want to know? Then I'll tell you. First time I came out here, it happened. Very first light. Ice bear comes cruising by. A big one, a real bruiser. Sometimes, you see, the Isbjorn looks right at you, right into your eyes. And the thing about an ice bear is he's got fiendish eyes. Hungry eyes. And then it came right down on top of my tent. Just bam! You wouldn't have believed it. By Thor, he's got his head in his jaws, and he ripped me out through the side of the tent like a cork out of a champagne bottle. Boom! And he just starts running. He had me by my head running, and I was getting dragged along, and the breath. You could not believe the smell of that bear's breath. I could feel the bones cracking in my neck and my skull. And look, and he pulls back his hood and he says, I still bear the scars today.
One of my retractable appendages comes out for a high five at the pun.
Oh,
So you like the animals then? This is what you're telling me.
I would not mock if I were you, lest the Norns have crossed our paths for a reason.
Has anyone ever raced these guys like a pack of dogs?
Race the Isbjorn. The Isbjorn chariot. That's what they call it. Only the most famed and fabled of sportsmen can bind the Isbjorn to a sled and have them drive it onward.
We would like one of those. It would make our journeys quicker.
I want to see this.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome.
You,
man.
Alpha, would bind the sacred bear? What manner of priest are you that turns so against nature?
Shameful.
What, me?
No.
No.
You would never dream of binding the sacred bear.
So sorry, by the way, about your sack of shit world tree.
Oh,
Wow.
You question my service to the tree, my service to the natural world, and you say such things? Is it not time for you to go?
Perhaps it may be. And he looks up at the sky and draws your attention to bright brilliance of the polar day. But you also notice above you that there is a luminous red cross that is shimmering and rippling across the sky, almost mesmerically. And Bjarnard says, "Clap now, you fools! Clap! Clap! The biggest mistake you can make with the Northern Lights is to wave or sing or whistle at them. Tell them you are here and the spirits of the lights will come and slice off your head. But clap your hands and you'll be safe. The only reason to whistle is to encourage them to come closer, to give them messages to take to the dead. Although perhaps you already know that, since you are spirits from beyond."
Have I ever heard of this clapping at the Northern Lights thing?
It's clearly superstitious, but the most Northerners do believe that the Northern Lights are, either the kind of the shimmering reflection of Valkyrie's armor or Odin sending a message. There are some scientists who know exactly what they are, in terms of charged particles raining through the atmosphere, but most ordinary people would believe something a bit more spiritual.
Okay. Is he clapping really loud?
He is clapping really loudly, and he's insisting that you all do that as well.
I will also clap
I will clap along with him.
almost as loud.
I don't have arms, I believe, so I'm blinking really fast.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a jazzy guy, so I snap.
Jazz,
No.
jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Very well. Bjarni says, "What precautions have you made for when we make camp this evening? Have you brought wire? Have you brought flares? Where will you set up camp?"
I had believed we would simply continue. I am still full of energy. Is there a problem?
I don't think I think I'm good.
He's riding the skadooch, right? So it's,
Yeah. I'm good to keep going.
I'm feeling good. I had a Red Bull a couple hours ago. No, or whatever. It's I had
You
a
ate
drink.
the tin of things that
Yeah.
people eat. Yes.
Yeah, the tin. Yeah.
Yes, I understand these things.
Yes. And so can we just keep moving, old man?
Yeah, if he wants to rest, that's fine. Just
Yeah, you should go sleep
Good.
away.
sit on the droid and quietly drool.
Drool away.
Very well. He's quite content to just ride on the tractor vehicle while the rest of you trudge through the boggy tundra and make your way along the coastline. He was perhaps hoping to impart more wisdom, but he's just the motion of riding on the back of the Dverg is most soothing to this ailing man.
As a recreational model, can I do anything to help him relax?
Oh no!
Oh no.
You got
I've
jacuzzi
my
mode?
eyes-
Did you say he's got a jacuzzi, a built-in
Yeah,
jacuzzi?
yeah, he's got jacuzzi mode.
Yeah. Well,
You need to become a vibrating bed, basically.
you
Like a
might be
massage chair,
able to squirt some bubbles, but
Bubble party.
That's
I don't know the full jacuzzi would work.
Yeah.
that must be slot 6 then.
There's an expansion port, I think.
So, well, it sounded like maybe there was more wisdom to be had, huh? Maybe he was going to impart some more
Yeah.
truths on us. But he might not last if we make camp. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Time is
We
of
don't
the
get him
essence.
off the cliff, right? So we got to kind of, maybe we'll let him kind of drool a bit, and then in a little bit we'll wake him up and we'll say, "Hey, man, you got anything else to say before you kick it?"
What wisdom would
Yeah.
you impart to spirits?
He says, "I can't believe I'm riding a chariot. Worm food for worm food." And you recall that in Norse myth, the Dverga were born out of the body of the kind of primordial god Ymir, and the Dverga were maggots that wreathed in his body. And so he's using a kind of common pejorative for Dverg by calling you worm food.
That's no way to address your chariot.
Yeah, are you okay, Lexico? That
You
was kind of
get, you
hurtful.
get the impression.
Yeah,
you
no,
get the
I-
impression that he's a man of the wild. Perhaps he would be a redneck in our universe, and he's
right.
not. He's not full of airs and graces. He's a little bit racist.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
right,
it's
right. Well, it's just a little bit, right?
Just a little.
I purposely next when we see a rougher patch of ice on the trail, I weave off into it and make it really bumpy to kind of get back at him.
At least you're not petty.
Who's got
That
a
is the
puppy
wrong
room?
way. You're going off the path for no reason.
Okay,
Sorry.
now up ahead you can see a kind of cresting hill with all kinds of scaffolding around it. The construction that litters around a mine shaft. As you approach, you can see a huge water pump outside, and as you come within earshot and hear the chugging of this thing sucking out the what presumably is melt water from the mine shaft, you see that it starts to clog and chokes to a halt, and so almost serendipitously the water pump has ceased working as you pass by. There is no signs of life. If there is anything, it's inside the mine shaft itself, but Bjarnard is coughing up a lung and says, "Welcome. We've got a date with destiny. Move along."
How far from the coast are we? If we keep moving at this speed, couple hours, half a day.
Yeah, you've probably been meandering for a couple of hours. The mines aren't too far from town because the miners have to get there. So you're probably a quarter of your way all the way to the Apostoop itself.
So we're coming up. We're coming up here to a mine, right?
Yeah, coming up to a mine in the hill, hillside. The water pump that extracts the water, the melt water that's running off the tundra and going into the mine shaft, that has ceased to operate as you have passed.
Anything to identify identify the mine or ownership thereof, or any signs that there might be anyone in it doing work?
The only sign that anything is going on you can hear is the kind of distant echo of a mining song sung in double dwerg. So you don't necessarily know what it means, but Lesko, you know that it sounds like hi ho, hi ho.
I hope, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Very good. And you also see a second sign, just the numeral 7.
7. Okay.
is that double dverg for something?
Nope. It's
Just the
the
number
mines
7?
are presumably owned by anyone other than the Dverg. The Dverg tend to be thralls or servitors in the service of humanity and do all of the dirty jobs.
Is there
We
any?
won't speculate on what dirty jobs that you've been up to.
Well,
Let's
is it a
just
job
say-
if you love it, though?
Yeah,
And hand jobs,
it's a
still a job.
vocation.
Yeah, a hobby. Does any of us know anything about machinery? Like, I know a little bit about machines, but very fine machines, not great big pumps.
Is there anything around that seems like we could communicate with the people down below? The Dverg in the
wanna
mine?
Communicate with them.
Yeah.
It's well known that like matches likes, and the clockwork to look at the clockwork.
So yes, it is a mine shaft. You would have to enter the mine shaft and kind of go hello.
Okay. So I dump Bernie off.
You dump Bjarni. There is an awful, sickening thud.
Oh,
Oh dear.
And then I go to the mine shaft.
dude, what's with the dump, man?
And
Can
I yell in double Dverg, which of course means
What's that?
can anyone help me carry to this guy
I'll
so we can go a little faster?
carry Bernie for now.
Yeah, you're strong.
He's
right?
no, not really. He's being
Uh-huh.
conveyed by the spirits, though. Like, I mean, that's
gotta
what we
be
were
good.
saying. I mean, I think it's good. I think it'd be quite an honor for him, but
I'd be honored.
He may think otherwise. He probably thinks otherwise.
Okay, so no one has any kind of mining background or industrial background or anything of that's practically useful in this kind of environment.
I have studied medicine. I have worked as a reeve for clerical functions back in the Grove.
Unfortunately, there are no herbs or herbs in this environment, so that's
and I am expert at military analysis.
I have dabbled as a gunsmith in the past, but that's very fine work compared to a bloody great pump.
He continues to puff himself up, the creature.
No Norse plumbers. Then. When you rolled up your characters, you didn't go for plumbing.
Nope.
Strangely. So we should, at a minimum, yell down that their pump is broken.
Okay, you yell down, and I think
I'm throwing it out as an option unless someone has a better one.
No, it's a good idea
I
for
like
an abomination.
Okay, so why don't we? Well, then I guess Lomi's gonna have to say it, right? Just because it's.
If you speak whatever it is they're saying.
Hey fellas, your pump is broken. Do you have a torch or something? It's probably ice. I mean, frozen wasteland.
Hello? You have come to our assistance? That is very kind of you, brother.
Oh, traditional kiss, perhaps?
Oh, we would love a traditional kiss. Can we possibly engage in a hug and a mutual exchange of data?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, it is very intoxicating to meet you. What model are you? I am built by Stairway systems. My name is Wetclet, and this is my buddy Bitchcraft.
Oh,
Bitchcraft.
What clit and bitchcraft?
Yes, that is our names. They are not very funny.
Of course not.
And
They're
what has
beautiful
happened? We
traditional
have
names.
clogged and choked the pump.
Oh
We
yeah.
must alleviate the pumping.
Perhaps
Perhaps
a pump station.
perhaps with more pumping. Where's the water coming from?
It is coming from the glacier. The meltwater penetrates through the rocks. It is very penetrating.
If I could blush.
So are you gonna fix this pump? Is this pump?
Yes, it is great that you warned us that we were fixing the pump, and now mine number 7 is safe and will be able to deliver its real value back to the Winterwise.
Oh,
Oh.
Winterwise. I would like to meet the Winterwise.
Yes, the Firefox Institute is the beneficiary of all of our activity here. But I cannot say much more. You must meet the lector himself. We must return to work, but we are extremely grateful for your prompt warning.
No
Great.
problem. I love you.
I love you.
Wow. I
How
mean,
heartwarming.
yeah.
Should we ask for a reward, maybe, for warning? Hey, can we get something for helping you out?
Oh no.
You have my undying affection and love.
Oh.
I'm satisfied. I'm
Yeah.
satisfied.
Okay.
All right. Sure. Well, I mean,
Please
is this,
do call on us again if you need any help. We 7 dwarves are very happy to assist.
If I was one of these dwarves, I'd be Slurpee.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
And I think,
Luby.
has anyone checked on Bianis?
Oh yeah.
I'm still
Yes.
holding him.
You're holding him. Oh, thank God someone was holding him.
So we
Can we
Has-
just get out of here? Like, this is weird.
Has
Like,
the meat bag expired yet? Can we throw him somewhere?
we're still not out of the city limits.
yeah.
Well, no, you're out of the you're right on the outskirts, right? Because
Okay.
you've got a couple of hours walk out. People don't want a mine right on their doorstep, but like I said,
Right.
it can't be too far away because otherwise people couldn't get there. It's
Right.
it would be a pain to commute, even for a diverge.
But if people die in this area, is that no good still? Because it's too close. Close to the city.
Yeah, generally speaking, you need to chuck people off. Anywhere where you leave carcasses, you attract unwanted attention and
Yeah. No, let's keep going with our original.
I know, fellows, we have only spent a few hours together, but I have an observation to share. And in all honesty, I feel that as a group, you are entirely tiresome. Can we please keep moving?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Ever onward.
All right. The walk is tiresome.
Isn't it?
Bjarni is feverish, and occasionally he does look in the direction of air and say, "Devil priest, your people ruined my life. The diamonds.
What about these diamonds?
Who is the devil?
I will return him to his chariot, by the way.
Conscious enough to compass mentors enough to engage in conversation. He's just obviously triggered by your black visage etched with copper as it is. Or golden and silver.
Illiterist.
I will return him to his chariot if the chariot's willing.
Yeah, well, I realized my profession is in trade, and I was a wagoneer.
Oh.
So it's all a par for the course. People
Is that
ride.
like- It's wagoneering like twerking?
It's a euphemism.
More so, yeah. People do be riding me.
It's all about shaking the caboose.
Mm-hmm.
How many can you fit on that old thing?
Depends on if slot 7's operating or not. That one's fussy.
Okay. Let me know if I can take it for a ride. Just get a ride somewhere.
Now, I'm going to ask you all now for an awareness roll, because in the midst of your discussions about the vagaries of wagoneering, there is something you might notice. You have awareness as a stats. You're going to roll challenge roll. You're going to aim for 10 or more. You have a modifier against your awareness, which should be somewhere between 0 and 3, I imagine. And let me know what you get.
I rolled a natural 20 and a +1.
Mine adds up to 10.
As one, you all crank and crane your necks, noticing on the bluff of the hill a stalking Ispion prowling at long range. And I'm also going to ask you for a wits challenge roll.
Okay.
I'm sure one of you will make the astute observation that comes from this.
13.
I got a 13 when I added the +1.
Yep, same with me.
Okay, then I'm going to reveal to you that it's clear that the bear has followed you from the direction of town, from Hjálpmakaar. It looks perhaps like it has trailed or tracked you, followed your various odors, but it's come from the direction of town. And you also notice that the bear has a broken harness. So while it took some skill to spot that, it doesn't take any skill to realize that the bear is emaciated and probably quite hungry.
This would be disrespectful if we didn't throw the entire Bernie off the cliff.
I think the horse gelder told us a story earlier that might be helpful here.
Wait, we
Cut
cut
off his
nuts.
balls?
Yeah, we cut his nuts and feed him to the bear as a.
He had 2 birds with 2 stones.
Hey.
Yes.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
We can't do that, right? We can't do that to him. It
No.
wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be right.
No, it wouldn't be right.
So maybe we should. Well, here's a question: how fast does little Moto go here?
I have an answer to that.
Yeah, legs go. How fast we moving?
My speed is 8.
Yeah, the challenge with Dverg is, whilst, again, they're not dwarves, they don't have stumpy legs. Spiritually, they have stumpy legs, and they go only 4/5 the speed of most other origins.
Yeah,
so
my speed.
He's not going. He's not going fast. He's kind of. I don't know what appropriate cars you have in North America, where you have the kind of Czech Skoda, something like that. It's
Sure.
it kind of.
You go.
He's not speedy.
Like a Segway.
yeah, like a segment.
Older model.
Yeah.
And remember, you were lovingly put together back by enthusiasts, weren't you? So you're not even off the factory line. You're like a model version of a Segway.
He's a homebrew.
Homebrew Segway.
So we can't really fight this thing, right? I mean, he's still far off. Why don't we?
We shouldn't hurt him.
Approaching at an impressive speed. It is like an oncoming storm.
Guys, where's the mine? Is the mine close by?
Oh, it's cut you off from the mine, and you'd gone past that.
We gone way
several
past
hours ago.
Do we have what
This
food?
beast is about 1.5 times taller than even your burly human Halif there, and over 5 times heavier. When it stands on its hind legs, it is over 10 feet tall, 3 meters tall, towering above you.
I fire warning shot.
What food do we have? Feed it. It's a pet. Clearly, it belongs to someone. It has a harness.
It has a harness, you said?
That's what we noticed. We noticed the harness. Right? Meat bags have such short attention.
Oh, my Lord.
Maybe save the warning shot unless it becomes aggressive and gets too close.
All right. It's barreling towards us, but all right.
I say he'll try and tame it.
It should be good.
Tame it.
Hilf, you had some bread.
Oh my God! What?
And
It
Huck
has
had
clearly
his-
picked up your scent and has followed you down to the sea. It is
I got
moving
beans.
deceptively, crushingly
Okay.
quick,
Okay.
greedy for its
I
kill.
throw.
Yeah,
Its
warning
head
shot.
is down, its ears pinned back.
I threw the bread. And
Shoot.
guys, we gotta run.
You threw the bread.
Threw the bread and I left the beans.
I'm sorry, this is When the Wolf Comes, a game of heroic Viking.
Yeah.
I know you just threw some bread.
Is that what
It's
they
not a- it's
taught
not a
you
pigeon.
in the army, meat bag?
I threw the bread and I left the beans. And we start getting out of here.
So it's a carnivore, and one of us is made of meat.
No, 2. We still have Bjarni, Bjarni.
However, this beast is frightening, and within the rules, you must all make a will check. So let's go sequentially because this is an important one. So we will start with Bill. Give me a will check.
That's at a -1. So I rolled a 10, so I got a 9.
Which means that you are unfortunately quivering not in your boots, but in your roots.
In my roots. Well then.
Oh, very nice.
Wordplay, a perilous moment.
And my bark is worse than my bite, too.
So anything that you do
Really?
following, you are going to do with 3 woes attached to the dice. We'll go sequentially around the same order as we were doing the intros. So Steve, would you please make the will
save?
roll?
Okay. Okay. Oh, 5. Wow, I chose a poor color of dice.
So the spirits of ancient warriors entombed in their new bodies are both entirely useless. Obviously, the spectre of death came for you once, and you don't want to
Been there,
revisit
done that.
Been here, done this.
it. Okay, and the wagoneer.
Oh my Lord.
I don't have. It's a +0 for me.
How heroic we are.
So the human
a 4.
contingent, the non-human contingent are not doing much, and so Jason, it's down to you and Halif.
To
The
be
horse goes-
fair, the robot is a lover, not a fighter.
That's true.
It's true.
I rolled a 7.
Oh,
Good. So as this monstrous beast roars towards you, flailing paws and snarling spittle, as it barrels down, you can almost feel the fishy breath as it picks up speed. All of you manage to effectively or proverbially piss your trousers. Ragnar Lothbrok, Hairy Breeches would be proud. You can just all rechristen yourself Pissy Breeches. Now, we will be entering combat shortly, so combat involves you deciding whether you want to take a fast turn or a slow turn. If you take a fast turn, you can either move or take an action. Slow turn, you can do both. So it rather depends on what the enemy's doing as the sequence of events. But you should perhaps confer amongst yourselves as to what the appropriate thing to do. Bjarni is bolt upright and fumbling around his body, like patting himself down and going, "Godsman, where are the flares?"
Man.
Yeah, we're underprepared here.
He didn't say anything about flares.
Yeah, no one said anything. How about
technical question, sorry, Ian, and maybe not the right moment, but I'm confused about the difference between a prepared move and a triggered move. If this isn't the right moment to explain
No,
it,
they're
we'll
pretty
save
much
it.
the same. They're pretty much the same. So were you to take the prepare action, then when the trigger occurs, so for example, you'd say, "I'm preparing to, if the Isbjorn comes within range, to whack it with my staff," then that's the prepare. The trigger is it entering your range, your reach, and then you would be able to perform the action, the triggered action, hit it with your staff, or at least attempt to.
Thank you. Can we tell who it's heading for particularly, or is it just charging at the whole group?
It's not like you've formed ranks, but you are all idling and panicking in the same general vicinity, so you can push someone ahead of you if you want them to take the brunt of the beast range. You can cower behind someone. It's entirely up to you.
Not necessarily where I was going, but
I propose a volley of warning shots.
Yeah, I mean, I got the gun locked and loaded, so why, you guys cool if I pop off? I should do what he's telling me. I smell his breath. I'm popping. What's that?
No, go for it.
I'm popping right now. Pop.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you're going to take a fast turn, and you're going to use your action to take a fire warning shot.
So that's scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to roll your d20. I'm going to ask you to roll 3d6.
If I may.
Sure.
I also have a firearm. And I'm thinking if you did a fast action to pull out my revolver and fire a warning shot at the same time, I'm hoping it would have more of a dramatic effect and increase the effectiveness of the appearance as a whole. So I don't know if that counts as an assistant sort of thing or a separate activity.
Yeah, it will be a separate activity because you're not actually directly helping.
Okay.
So you're going to fire that shot. I want a dice 20 with 3 woes because you can see the creature and you are frightened.
Okay. So both of us the same thing then?
Yes, please.
All
And
right.
presumably you're shooting wide anyway. I just want to know whether you if you roll terribly, then something
Between the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Warning shot to the spine. Yeah.
That'll
So
get
one
its attention.
1d20, right? 1d20.
Correct. With the dice 6s, you're going to take the highest value and deduct it from the d20.
Using a firearm is slight, isn't it?
Correct.
5.
5 total. Well, it's not a 0, so it's not bad.
Not a
You
complete.
are aiming to miss, and what did Halif do?
I did. Sir, what did I say? I did 1d20 plus 3d6, so 13.
-2.
Minus 2. Okay.
Or plus whatever your slight modifier is.
You fire high and wide, and the report of the shots echoes out across the tundra. The bear barely bats an eyelid as it continues with the scent of blood, which presumably poor Bjarni is coughing up. It acts as an intoxicating, alluring prey, so he is headed straight towards you like a steaming super train.
Okay.
I know what else are you taking? So those were fast turns. Are you taking fast turns, Bill?
Well, here's what I want to try and do, and I need a GM ruling, of course. So I have an ability called Guardian Tree. I can use a triggered action to protect at +1 woe. So I'm wondering, can I set myself ready to try and protect whoever the bear goes for?
If that person is either your Dverg friend or Bjarni, then yes. But the two people that fired will have kind of moved out of range, and taken their aim, and so won't be quite within reach.
Okay, I think I'll do that.
Okay, so you're preparing to protect. And Ed, what have you got going on for Legs Go?
Legs Go?
Legs Go, perhaps you should let's go at this point.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So I turn around and I start bolting away from the bear.
Legs go crazy.
In doing so, you obviously remove yourself from the protection.
I dump. Should I dump?
Dump a second time in 5 minutes.
Dump so he can be protected.
He's a sex bot. He's not a hero.
I love to fuck off.
All right.
Yeah. So
you're in full flight.
Yeah.
Your stress reaction, fight or flight, was
Flight.
bugger off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vigorously.
Very, very, very brave. All right. Huffing and snarling, the beast almost erupts from the tundra, swinging its mighty paws towards Leaf. The blow crashes down.
Uh-oh.
And you have taken a rather modest 20 damage as it effectively rips your head from your shoulders, tumbles, and your body collapses to the floor, spewing a geyser of blood where your last stand once was.
Technical question. I have Yggdrasil's gift, which gives me a 20+ roll on stabilize heals, which allows him to heal. So can I stabilize him?
It's only a flesh wound. His head's just off.
Stabilize. I need to stabilize.
Well, this is a dramatic development.
The rules for instant death are as if you from one source you take all of that damage, then especially as a level 1 character, there's no level 0 character, I should say, there's no getting up from that. So Halif the horse Gelder has been bear baited.
Halif, we hardly knew you.
He's golded his last horse.
Good
What
Lord.
a Halif.
Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. We still got a bear. What are we going to do? Okay, wait. I'm gonna get
Actually, the problem I think is on the verge of solving itself.
That was indeed round 1. We will now move on to round 2, where everyone apart from poor benighted Jason can have another turn. Jason, you can watch your life ebb and flow, and perhaps take comfort from dying in battle. And you can see, this is after all the Vikings of Valkyries podcast, you can see descending from Asgard, the winged, voluptuous Valkyrie come as the chooser of the slain to pluck you from the battlefield and escort you into the arms of Odin.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. See you guys later on in Valhalla.
I've been wondering which part of the southern north he's from. Now we'll never know.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Goodbye.
He might come back in an Alpha or Dverga or Dark Alpha body. You know, this is.
Oh, I love that.
Who knows what happens to the spirits of the land?
Yeah.
You have no time to mourn. I'm actually, because of the grisly nature of your comrade's demise, I'm all going to give you a trauma to add to your particular pickle.
Wonderful.
Okay. How do we do that?
Just add it to your sheet, but that's also going to require another will roll to see quite quickly how you descend into panic and shock.
Okay. Do we add 1 to the trauma number on the sheet?
You do.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
And
you
so
said
as we say farewell to Jason and Helene, what are the rest of you doing with your fast turns?
All right. So, abomination.
Yes, that's devil priest to you.
The clockwork has run off.
Mm-hmm.
I will. Oh, fuck. I mean, excuse me. That's a good Norse word, isn't it?
I propose running like mad and hoping that the bear is distracted by the now conveniently available buffet.
Well, I believe we both run faster than the sex toy.
Yeah.
So that's all you have to do, right?
Yes, you just have to
Whoa,
outpace
whoa,
literally
outpace
the
the
case.
slowest member of
Yeah.
the group.
Whoa. But I got a head start, right? So this is we got to do the math on this.
All right. Yeah. No, I'm running.
Actually, I'm going to fortify myself and run. I guess so that would be a slow action because it's 2 things, right?
What's a fortify? What's that?
It's a thing I do. I fortify my body to take half damage from all sources.
Being made of stone has its benefits. All right, so everyone is running.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, poor Bjarne can't. And so the bear looms over him, exploding with rage and fury. It's drooling all over him. The drool drips onto his chest. And he looks over at the 3 of you running, or trying to plow your way through the boggy tundra. And he calls out, "You whimpering, snot-nosed, cretinous cowards! You're everything I despise. You couldn't even kill me properly." And at that, the bear pounds him into the ground, ripping his spine from his body and sending severed limbs in all directions.
Well, he had that coming. Okay, so
going poorly.
so result.
So he is dead.
Yeah.
Right? So we got.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
We may not have fully fulfilled the "don't get him eaten by a bear" thing.
No, the bear is beginning to savage and maul both of the bodies of the humans who you were escorting. You were leading a procession of the dead, and it appears to have worked. You are very good in your role of psychopomps, but you do now hear the kind of whirring and chugging of Skiderberg that slide into view, and you hear a huge bellowing voice yell out, "By Thor's roaring thunder! Unhand that man, Snow White! Stand down! Step away, you brute, you beast!" 2 more Skiderberg hove into view, and you see a richly dressed, towering man with receding black hair, towering about 7 foot tall, a Yofa by the name of Fimbogi Albison, and he stands there commanding the bear to release its prey. The bear cowers and does so almost looking sheepish as it slinks back to its obvious owner. And that, gentlemen, is where we will leave our adventure for today.
The final image of 3 non-humans running off across the tundra.
Well, those
Completely
guys,
abandoning their mission.
those guys have impeccable timing on the ski de bergs. All right, we needed 2 more minutes.
The Vikings and Valkyries podcast is hammered together by a dedicated team of Scalds and Smiths. Joining us this week was GM for Hire Bill Hopkins. You can find him on Start Playing using the stage name Magic Ludi. Also joining us was Jay, who has just released his first single, Could Have, with his band Ober. Find links to these works of myth and legend in the show notes. In the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, and sacrifice to the old gods.